All right.
All right.
I'm leaving. You have a good night.
All right, you too. All right, let's like to call to order the September 18th review committee meeting at 7:30. Myself and Councilor Murphy are here. First order on the agenda is the approval of minutes. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Okay, and I'll second it. Any discussion? All right. All in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay. 2-0. Minutes. All righty. Moving on to the anyone from the public? I don't see anyone from the public. Okay. Moving on to the discussion on the review. So I sent to you and Susie, I only got one piece of feedback from Kevin. And overall, I mean, it's some good points in there. We'll discuss it at the next meeting, but I at least passed that on. I did reach out to MMA, MCLA. I haven't gotten any responses back, trying to see if they could give me any type of example town manager evaluations, kind of looking at format, things of that nature. I'm always of the mindset, if I can find something better than what we have, we steal it and call it our own. But I don't have anything yet. Now, it's been a week. I was hoping to get some sort of feedback, but I haven't gotten any feedback, or I haven't gotten any information. I went online. It was just not very fruitful. There's all different types of formats, town administrators, town managers, things of that nature. So I think the actual review is going to be a little bit of a challenge per se, maybe for this round, to make substantial wholesale changes, and maybe, and this is kind of for us to recommend and the council to decide, if we go with the current format, with the understanding that we have to do additions to the current format. Because I think the challenge is, if we make some changes but we don't make them all, I don't necessarily know if that's going to be a complete process, but we'll have to see.
When you say make some changes, what do you mean by that?
I'm sorry?
When you say make some changes, what do you mean by that? Like, for this time around?
Well, I mean, we had some that were in there from Kevin. We talked about maybe changing the actual time frame of the review.
Yeah.
Instead of a calendar year, fiscal year. We didn't really land on that. And in the meeting with some of the people that were making suggestions from the public in regards to adding some things around committee interaction, things of that nature. So there's definitely stuff out there. I just don't know, depending on when we're going to start the process, if we're going to have enough time, and maybe we will, in order to kind of, I don't want to say tear it apart, but maybe break it down into chunks and then see if we can bring something back to the council that's acceptable for people to work on.
Right. I know we highlighted last time we met, maybe an opportunity to add some written goals from the council as a whole.
So, and that's funny. And this is where, I've seen it both ways, Paul, just in my career, where your review is your review, right? Yeah. And then the second part, it's not part of your review. It's to review your goals and objectives for whatever time period you're being reviewed. You get a separate document that actually states in detail what your goals and objectives are for that upcoming year. Those goals and objectives get incorporated into the next year's review.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. But again, that's the way I've seen it. I think Kevin, and again, I think Kevin suggested putting it in the review. I'm not saying we can't do that. And maybe that will be something that the council, wants to do. I've seen it. You deliver at the same time, first the review and then the goals and objectives for the second part. Maybe you do it separately. Maybe you do it in the same review. I mean, I would be up to whatever the majority of the council wanted to do.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I feel.
So, but what I wanted to do is take some time and get your feedback on the mechanism of delivering this next review. So at the meeting I talked about in our prior meeting, talked about why we had the timing aspect of, February 5th, or when it was due. But with the change in the town manager's contract terms, now his contract expires on June 30th of 2028 or whatever it is, 2028, I think. But what I'd like to do, and if you're in agreement, bring this back, is I'd like to keep the methodology of delivering the annual review, that 90-day window prior to, I'll say, the anniversary of his contract, because next year it's not going to expire, but in keeping that for cadence so that when his contract is due to expire, whoever the council president is, delivers the review. But then also, once they deliver the review, he or she is the one who's going to say, all right, we want to either, go into negotiations to extend your contract, or maybe at that particular point, and the council has the right to say, this is your 90-day notification that we won't be renewing your contract. Right. That's what I'd like to recommend, but I absolutely would like your feedback on that.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think one thing, again, we talked about last time was trying to change the timeline for new councilors that would potentially come on. And I think if we did, 90 days based on that June 30th or whatever the date is, would bring us to March, if I'm correct, or the end of March, which in theory would be good timing for councilors that have had almost a full year experience, and at least councilors that are new coming on late April, wouldn't have to do that for a whole nother year. So it would give them plenty of time to work with the town manager and have some input. There's obviously the special elections that come up, but I think the majority of them will be captured in that sense too, which is something that we identified last time.
Yeah, I mean, we can't plan for every single scenario, right, but I agree with that as well. So in my notes, that's why I'm looking off to the side. If I did the math correctly, the evaluation would go out on January 30th. It would be due back the end of February 28th, 29th. Then 30 days from that, I'm sorry, hold on. Yep. So then March 31st, wait, hold on, I get this screwed up. All right, let me take this back. January 30th, they go out. February 28th, they come back from the councilors. March 31st would be the due date to deliver the annual review on a June 30th renewal for the town manager's contract. So March, April, May, June. Yeah. So that's the 90 days. That's what not at tomorrow's meeting, but the next meeting, at least bring that up for us to adopt that, which I believe it's in our admin code, so that it doesn't, we can approve that if we so choose. It doesn't have to go to the voters or things of that nature in regards to that. So I'd like your thoughts on that. If you're supportive of that, if you want to do something different, by all means.
I'm supportive of that. I have one other question that I guess maybe ties back to the bigger picture too, is the town manager doesn't have an opportunity to respond to the evaluation, do they? As written now? They do.
He does, yeah. So the way that it works is that he should do his own self-review.
Right. Okay.
And then you deliver the review. And then I believe he has 30 days, maybe a little bit less, to actually respond to it. Eventually he's got to sign it. But if he's good with it, he can sign it on the spot. But he does have, I believe, 30 days, or it could be 15. I'm not exactly sure, but he does have the ability to go in, respond, sign it, and then it goes into his personnel file.
And does that have to be built into the process, or is that after the fact then?
It's after the fact. I mean, in fairness, we're only responsible for delivering it.
Yeah. Okay.
But he does, but before it, I will say before it, like, he doesn't necessarily have to sign it on the spot. He does have that ability. If there's something in there that he wants to address, he has that ability, but he can't refuse to accept it at a particular point. It goes into his file. Right. But as long as we deliver it to him by the 31st, that puts us in a good time frame from that June 30th anniversary date.
And so from our standpoint, it's out of our hands at that point with him signing it, or
yeah, I mean, it's really it's not signing that he agrees with it. It's signing that he's acknowledging that we delivered it.
Right.
It's like, any, reviews that I've done and I've participated in. I mean, at a particular point, the HR department wants proof that I got my annual review. Now, if I liked it, I didn't like it, they don't really care per se. But you'd have the capability of putting things in there if you so choose. So as long as it's delivered by the due date and then the acknowledgement comes back in a manageable time, I think we're good. Now, if we're not, I'll find out when we do this. But I remember when I delivered the last one he had, I told him, I said, here you go. You got 2 weeks, 30 days. And he just signed it right there. He was fine. So, but he does have any review, the person get reviewed should have some sort of time frame to at least address things if they so choose before it becomes just a final piece of their personnel file.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I think that's the only thing. So I agree with.
Okay. So what I'd like to do is make a motion to recommend establishing the January 30th date for the finalized review to go out to the council with a due date of the end of February from the councilors, and then having it delivered to the town manager no later than the end of March 31st.
Okay. Yeah. Second.
So, I'll put that motion out.
Yeah. Second motion.
Okay. Oh, any additional discussion? No. All right. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay. So it goes 2-0. All right. So 2-0. Date change. Okay. So I guess the only other thing, and tomorrow we can talk too about scheduling another meeting, is to try to get at a particular point the feedback. We can't prolong this, because if we're looking at a January 30th, we're already in the late September, so it's going to take a little bit of time, but we should be able to get something that I think we can all agree to hopefully by the beginning of November or mid-November. So I think we've got time on our hands for that. So that'll be a good thing. So what I would probably say is
to clarify, you mean maybe an updated evaluation by
whatever
November, changes to
whatever we find, whatever we get, and again, it could be anything from using what we currently have now to revamping the entire thing. We just need to be cognizant of the timing aspect of bringing it to a council meeting. I don't think it has to be, it probably may be reviewed out to rules and procedures or something, but doesn't have to be advertised or anything like that. And most likely would go out to committee and then come back for a final review and an approval. So if we're looking to get it out in January, then we're probably looking at hopefully having something for a review, as long as the council approves our proposed timing change, probably have something ready to go in November, towards the end of November, clean it up in December, and then get it out the end of January.
I think that sounds good.
So that's it I have for this. Anything on your end that you wanted to add or something to consider?
No.
Okay. All right. Any comments from the public? Hold on. See if anyone joined. No one joined, because I would have seen it. All right. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
All right. Second it. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Meeting is done at 7:45. Appreciate you joining, and I'll see you tomorrow night.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, take care.